Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. I'm trying to get you guys together, but it doesn't want me to be great this morning. That's okay. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you got some rest in and all that good stuff. Good morning, and how do you do? I'd like to introduce myself to you. Y'all remember that cheer? Is that a cheer? Did I make that up? Wasn't that a cheer? Was that a cheer? For those of y'all that was a cheerleader, my name is JoJo. Yeah, I don't remember the rest of it. I just know the good morning, and how do you do? I'd like to introduce myself to you. I am ready for this Monday morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend. On Friday, we talked about choosing boldness and being aware of what you're gaining. So how did that work out for everybody? I think sometimes, and I may talk about that in a minute, we forget just how bold we can be. Good morning, Charlene. Good morning, Tashana. And what it's like to be, not to be afraid, to be bold, to do what you love, to be true to who you are. So I hope you guys did something like that this weekend, or you became aware of what you're gaining on this new Be Fearless journey, because it is a journey. And like I said before, you are introducing yourself to yourself, because you're finding the you that's been hidden by everything and everybody else, from life expectancies to life situations and life problems. I am waiting on my fearless co-host to join me. Let me see if I can find her. Maybe she'll find us in a minute. And so, and speaking, there she is. I think you just have to share it, Tashane. I think you have to share it, and then like when you share, it says share with friends, and then you can click in their names and tag them. I think. I'm not sure. Hold on. I don't mean to make y'all jumpy, but my pen is not working. In with my finger. Oops. There we go.
Hey, finally.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys? Good morning.
Peachy, a little sleepy, a little tired, but I'm okay.
Yes, guys. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here for the Fearless Morning Show. Yes, and yes. Have you started talking to anyone today? I'm sorry, everyone today.
Yes, I was talking about our Friday's topic, being aware of what you're gaining, and did they live boldly this weekend. So that's what I saw. I did travel this weekend. I got to see Tashana this weekend, and I got to see her daughter do the play. Let me tell you, I dreamed about it Saturday night, woke up with it on my mind Sunday morning. She was so good. I cried the ugly cry at the end. It was, when you cry and all of this burns and hurts because you're trying to hold it in. That's the kind of crying I was doing. There wasn't even enough tissue to hold all of it. And so it was, but I saw her living boldly, and she was just doing her thing, and I'm excited. So
awesome.
I had a good weekend. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I told Lynn we on a limited time this morning. Lynn's talking about budgets today.
That ties right in this morning. So guys, the quote for this morning, I love it. This is from Anne Frank. How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. And I love that you shared the story this morning of Tashana's daughter and how she stood in her boldness on that stage, because essentially that's what this quote calls us to do, right? We don't have to wait on anybody else to start to improve, because improvement of the world starts with us. You can't change anybody else, but you can change what it is that you do. So that
Yes.
also ties very nicely into our quote for, our discussion, our financial confessions and conversations this morning. And one of the reasons that we started this How Do I Begin series is because that's the number one question that I receive. We even received that at our live events. How do I begin to budget? How do I begin? I have all these things going on. It's not as if I'm just a fresh newbie at this thing. I've been doing this for many years, and I have all of these different situations and circumstances coming at me. So how do I begin? Understanding that I have responsibilities that I have to take and maintain. I have a family that I'm responsible for. I have a job that I'm responsible for. I have a business that I'm responsible for. I'm wearing all these hats. So how do I begin and not allow things to fall through the cracks? The number one thing that I say to you when you ask yourself, how do I begin budgeting? See, that's what we're going to be talking about today, because I think that's a pain point. That's a huge pain point for some people. And guys, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. And please share this information out. Before I get started, let me introduce myself. I am Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. And this morning, we'll be going into this How Do I Begin series. And one of the other reasons that I thought about doing this is because I was in that same situation one day. I was in that painful situation where my student loans were just so overwhelming. It was so daunting that I could not see a light at the end of the tunnel. It was so much that I knew that I had to pay back. Our credit card debt, my husband and I, we amassed large amounts of credit card debt because we were trying everything, right, to get out of this student loan debt. We tried every business that you can possibly think of, whether it was multi-level marketing or starting our own business or whatever it was. We tried everything. And in the process of trying everything, we amassed this large amount of debt. And it just seems like we were just like Nemo. We were just trying to keep swimming, right? We were just trying to keep swimming because we couldn't see our way out. So that is one of the main reasons this morning to share, how do I begin? And the number one thing that I'll share with you that positioned us, and when I say us, I'm talking about my husband and I, what positioned us in the way that we needed to ensure that we took control of our money instead of our money controlling us, was to figure out why. Okay? And you say, Lynn, that sounds so cliche, but guys, it's that bottom line foundational work that's going to make sure and ensure that you continue on this journey, that what you're setting up is going to stand. Why do you think they build a solid foundation for all these buildings, right? Or even for your home? It has to have a solid foundation in order for it to stand. The same thing with your budgeting concept. You have to have a solid foundation, and your solid foundation is built in why. Why is it that you want to budget? For me, my why for getting through this, and everybody already knows my story. My story is this. When my son graduates from high school, and I initially set my goal at, he will have $100,000 walking out of the door, right? And why did we initially set that $100,000 goal for him, right? We set that because we knew the pain of $100,000 of student loan debt, right? And my husband, he used to always say this, guy, he used to say, every time we looked at our money, he'd be like, that student loan gonna be with me forever, right? That was his mindset. That was his mentality around this budgeting thing. So we had to figure out how to get a hold of this. So what I did was figured out my why. And my why is my son, Malachi. See, Malachi is not going to have to experience that $100,000 student loan debt. Why? Because mommy has now made it a goal that when he graduates, he'll have $100,000 sitting in that account for him that he can either choose to start his own business or he can go to college. See, that setting that solid foundation. Now, your story is not the same as my story, right? But you have to figure out what is the pain point for you and why do you want to get out of that situation. That is the first and foremost thing that you need to do to figure out and start budgeting. The next thing that I say to you, right, once you figure out, we all know we need to budget, right? We know we need to budget, but there are different levels to it. You know you need to budget, you want to budget, or you are committed to budget. So you have to figure out where you are in that space, right? We all need a budget. It's inevitable. Even businesses have budgets, whether you like it or not, right? Even a business has a budget. That's how they know their bottom line. That's how they know if they're in the red or the black. So we have to be intentional in this thing as far as our finances are concerned. And guys, let me tell you, it's not easy once you get started. You start pulling all those pieces together, it's painful. It is a doggone headache. I'll tell you, when we sat down to actually do this thing, it was so much going on. I had to pull so many accounts, log into this website and pull this information down because I did not truly know where I stood with my money. So I said this to you is because it was painful for me, and more than likely, if you've been doing similar things in your life, it's going to be painful for you too. But I guarantee you, once you get through it, once you get it down on paper or on your computer or wherever you choose to update and put all this information together, I guarantee you that once you see it and you say, wow, I understand my why now, I got to figure out how to pull out of this. That's the thing that's going to take you to that next level. Okay, guys? So there has to be pain in this, and there's absolutely pain in it, right? There's pain in our finances. That's the reason we're trying to figure this budget thing out. Point blank, period, right? But once you identify that pain, what do? I go get my Advil, all right? Your Advil is your budget. Once you identify where you are on paper or on those spreadsheets electronically, however you do it, you can do it old school or new school, doesn't matter, as long as you do it, right?
Yep.
That's the most important thing. Jojo, how am I doing on time? Because I know that we're
7:29.
Okay. So the other point that I want to drive home, guys, and I thank you all so much for being here this morning. Don't forget to share this video. But it's not enough to be in the right place in the right time, right? You have to be the right person in the right place in the right time. So what does that mean? That means that you have to have the mindset that you are committed to this process, because oftentimes we'll get started on something, we'll do it for 30 days and maybe 60 days, and dare I say we do it for 90 days. But then once we get to that point, if we don't see a miracle, what do we tend to do? We tend to stop. We say, this is not working. This is not working. It's not going to work, guys, unless you work it. And the thing that I have to keep pushing and sharing is, you did not get into this mess overnight. So don't expect to get out of it overnight. But what I will say is, once you do get to the other side of this, that is a completely different situation, right? You can go to sleep at night and not have to worry about all of those other things that are happening inside of your money, because your money will keep you up at night if your money is funny, right?
Yep.
So getting this budget down on paper, one of the things that I also shared is I provided a download for everyone who's joining in today. If you need the next steps to go ahead and move to your next in your budgeting, go to bit.ly/DE budget. DE is for Demons Enterprise. bit.ly/DE budget. I also posted a link on my Facebook page. Go over there, get the budget toolkit and download it. It doesn't just talk about budgeting, guys. There's a whole array of information that is inside of there that's going to help you change the game in your finances if and only if you do the work. Okay, so make sure that you start by figuring out your why, because it's not easy to get started. But once you get started and you start building that momentum, that is where the game begins to change, right? Yeah. And then, guys, the other thing, and I'm so excited about tomorrow, because tomorrow is how do I start saving? Guys, we've been lying to ourselves. So how do you stop that? You've been lying to yourself and saying you don't have money to do this. You don't have money to do that. The thing is, you have not prioritized that as important to you.
That's right.
See, let me explain. The other week when my son was hurt in his school, he ran into another kid, guys, and it knocked his tooth completely out of his head, right? Our situations change on the drop of a dime. You better believe we were at the emergency room. You better believe we came up with every dollar that they said that we needed to come up with in that moment to pay for my son, because he was in pain. My baby lost his tooth, and it was a permanent tooth. I could have seen if it was a baby tooth, but it was a permanent tooth that was knocked out of his head. I was not about to see my child go through life toothless. So you better believe we did everything within our power to come up with the money for that. See, that was a priority for me. I didn't budget for his tooth getting knocked out of his head. Who thinks about that, right? That's why it's extremely important, guys, to also have an emergency fund. We haven't talked about that. You don't have to call it an emergency fund. Call it a contingency fund. Call it a in case stuff happens fund, right? But you have that fund set aside in case stuff happens, because stuff will happen. And we get that. And that's why we've gotten into these situations, because we didn't budget for those in case stuff happens episodes in our lives. See, all of that needs to be taken into account in your planning. So if you go over and download that kit, it has all of these moving pieces embedded in it for you. And it's not just about budgeting, it's about saving, it's about all of the different moving pieces that are going to help you face your finances. And it all begins with your mindset. The other thing that I want to share with you guys is that in doing this, you need an accountability partner, whether that's your husband, your spouse, or your bank account. Let's say that. Everybody doesn't need somebody, right? Because everybody's not ready to talk to other people about your money. And this is not what this is about. I don't have to see your bills. I don't have to see what you owe. I don't have to see what you make. What I can tell you and share with you is that you can do this, and I'll give you the step-by-step system to be able to do that thing, right? So be able to budget appropriately, so you now have control of your finances, rather your finances having control over you. But for those of you who need an accountability partner, get one. The thing that's accountability for us now, my husband and I, we have each other. We do. We have each other. And we even bring our son into the conversation when we talk about our money. But you know what's our true accountability partner? Our bank account. Because we don't want our bank account to be at zero, right? We don't want to be at a negative net worth, right? That's our accountability partner. So if you're not ready to have that conversation with anybody else, your bank account is your accountability partner. Otherwise, get you someone who's on the same page, or even a step ahead of you. I dare I say a step ahead of you, right? That's going to be able to support you on this journey as you're developing your budget. All right. So Jojo, I know that we don't have that much time. We got to get out of here, but I just had to share that with you this morning as far as getting yourself together. This is the thing, guys. You got to love yourself enough to make this change happen for you and your family. And then once you get it, once you get this information, don't keep it to yourself. See, we're called to share this in our community so that we all can grow together. That's the purpose of the Fearless Morning Show, to help one person every day, right? JoJo and I are committed to coming here every morning and sharing this information with you. And we ask that you pass the information on to the next person, and that this information continues to snowball, because there is no reason, guys, for us to be broke, busted, and disgusted, because we're called to do better. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. So love yourself enough to be the change. All right, Miss JoJo, I'm off my soapbox this morning for the budgeting. I have a lot more notes that I could have given you guys today, but go get the kit. Go to bit.ly/DEBudget. Get the kit, download it, get started today. And then after you get everything on track, I want to hear from you. I want the testimonials about how you saw and you recognized the fact that you had, oh my gosh, I found $200. I found $500. I found $1,000 in my budget. I want to hear all of those stories, because once you go back and look at it and you become intentional, tell them, JoJo, you know, go back and become intentional in utilizing it, because once you put it to work, it will work for you guys. But you have to take that first step and keep going. So how do you get started? Understand what your why is, right? Why are you doing this? Why is it painful for you? And why do you want to get out of this situation? And then download that toolkit so you can go through the steps. It's a system. It's going to help you to get through. And the beauty of that system, guys, is you pick and choose what works for you. I know I said I was going to be quiet. I'm going to cut it off right here, Miss JoJo.
Yeah, because we got to be out of here by 7:45 this morning.
Okay, all right. I'm good. I'm done, guys. Thank you.
Lena's on fire this morning. She is too excited this morning. And I was like, Lena, we got to be out of here by 7:45. She said, great, okay. Lena was on it today. It's all right, honey, because when we get excited, that's all that matters. And I think we are so passionate about what we're saying. And I know for me, when I start talking about it, I want to tell you everything right now. And I don't want to stop until I tell you all.
Yes. Absolutely.
But y'all do have to get that budget toolkit. I use it. My kids use it. It will really help. Now, let me tell you, don't be alarmed at how the Excel spreadsheet. Do you have the Excel spreadsheet on there, Lynn?
This one, I downloaded the PDFs. Now, I do have an Excel spreadsheet. If they want that, I can give it to them, but I didn't want to overwhelm anyone just yet. But if you're good with Excel, then you probably. I
was gonna say it's overwhelming. If we're at the How Do I Begin series, understand. Read the PDF first. Don't go for the Excel spreadsheet, because it'll make you cry. I called in. I said, "What is all of these colors, and what am I supposed to do?" It's a little overwhelming. So yeah, start with the PDF first, and then work your way up. All right, Lynn gave a quote today that I love. Can you read it one more time? Anne Frank book changed my life. 13 years old, and I will say that about every book, because every book I read has something that has changed my life or encouraged me to do something. Read it one more time.
Sure. The quote is, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world."
Not a moment, period. It is all up to you. And I think that's one of the things that I stress and bring home a lot when we talk here on the morning show, that you can affect the world. And the only reason why you do not is because you choose not to. So y'all remember the sticky note. And I really got it, because I got it hanging on with some tape now, because the sticky is gone. Remember, somebody's waiting to hear your voice, and they will not move until you move. So today, on Friday, we talked about being aware of what you're gaining and being bold in your movement. So today I want to talk about letting go of false solidity. What are you holding on to? Tashana is great with Excel spreadsheets, so she could probably maneuver it like it's a piece of candy. I, on the other hand, was totally lost. Like, I don't even know what this is. So letting go of false solidity, and by that means sometimes I want you to think about the things that you cling to, the ideas that you cling to, the thoughts, the emotions that you cling to that give you a false security or make you think what you have is solid when it's really not. You know, what are those thoughts about your money? What are those thoughts about your relationships, about yourself that you have built around yourself? You know, because we're building new us's, we're building new yous, and we got new rules and we got new foundations. But what are you clinging to? What are those thoughts that you're holding on to? Those emotions that you're holding on to that are not true, that you are building onto, that are not truly solid. And what that's going to take is, and along the journey, at some point, you're going to have to hit that wall, and you're going to have to look at that and look at we talked about strengthening your voice and speaking your truth. Before you can speak your truth, you're going to have to know your truth. And that's going to require you stopping, because you're going to hit that wall. And here's what's going to happen when you keep hitting that wall of that false solidity, where what you have built is not real and it's really not solid. You just think it is. You're going to keep having the same thing happen over and over and over again. If it continues to happen over and over again, just know your foundation is not solid, and you're clinging on to something that literally the universe, the world, God himself is telling you, JoJo, it's not working, but you keep insisting that it works. And so you can apply that to everything, your life, your finances, your relationships, your children. And I had to look at that as far as my relationships for myself, as well as my friendships, because I had built these friendships or relationships that I thought were solid, but they really were not. It was all fake, and it wasn't real. And it wasn't real because I hadn't addressed the underlying problem. And sometimes we have to address the underlying problem of ourselves and not somebody else in order to fix what is wrong. So before I could call anybody out, before I could get angry with anybody else or tell anybody else off, I had to get angry and tell JoJo off first. Like, who are you to be doing this when you don't even know the truth about you? Oh, then where'd you go? So, there you go. So as you're learning to speak your truth, first you got to know your truth. So you got to let go of that false solidity. What are the things that you're clinging to today that may not be true, but you're trying to force them to be true about your life and your finances, so that you think that you have it all together? Yes, Tashana, self-reflection. And that's truly all it is. And it's honest self-reflection. You got to be honest in that process, because if you're not, it's not going to be the same. Some of my friendships were never true friendships at all. I made them to what I thought I wanted them to be, and I built them on something that was false. I was clinging on to emotions and thoughts that I needed to make me feel like I was somebody, or they were somebody, or they were more to me than they needed to be. And when I got rid of that, my friendships changed drastically. You hear me? They may not, and here's the thing, they may not have known, yes, Tashana, inside job, they may not have known that our friendship changed, because I may not have told them, but I reacted to them in a totally different way. So I knew our relationship changed. They may not necessarily have, because if they're not true to themselves and they got that false solidity going on, they're not going to understand it either. They're going to think, oh, JoJo's just acting crazy, or she's just doing that, not realizing JoJo is making some moves and some strides and becoming more self-aware. And as I learned to speak my truth and understand what it is, and as you strengthen your voice and you're telling people about, what you're trying to do, you've got to have that self-reflection. That was the word I was looking for, Tashana. Thank you. You've got to have that self-reflection and think about, what are you clinging to today? So on this Motivational Monday, on the way to work, no radio today, no talking to anybody. Think about, what are you clinging to? What falseness things are you clinging to about yourself? Like, I got it going on. Well, a lot of people, here it is. A lot of people say, well, if that man ever did this to me, then I would do this. I can't believe, you know how it is when you see other people have relationships with another man. Girl, if that was me, I couldn't handle that. But you are the very person doing the exact same thing. You just haven't told anybody about it yet, because nobody knows, because you have that false solidity. You can speak it, but it's not here. Yeah, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? You speaking it, but you're not living it. And so until it becomes, until you let go of the things that you're clinging to and that false sense of who you are, You're gonna keep hitting that wall. It's gonna continue to be problems. You're gonna continue to have your heart broke. You're gonna continue to be broke. You're gonna continue to have broken relationships. Do you see
Right.
a theme here? It's not gonna work. It will be the exact same thing over and over. And the only thing, and I can guarantee you that you can put this in writing, take it to the bank and cash it. The only thing that will change will be the people you interact with. You, my friend, will stay the same. You will have the same problem with every job. You will have the same problem with every relationship. Yes, Tashana. And here's my thing. When I see people doing stuff that I used to do, my judgmental space is zero because I used to be there. So I don't have any room to be judgmental against somebody else when I was there. Oh, I'm there. Thank you. Oh, what was you? Is my time up, Lynn? Okay, yeah, it's Charlene. Yes, you keep repeating the pattern. So, guys, today on Motivational Monday, I want you to think about letting go of that false solidity. Think about the things that you're clinging to today that are not true. Lies that you tell yourself that you swear are true, but they really not true. And you and Jesus know that they not true. All right, guys, that's it for the Fearless Morning Show. Lynn, you want to say anything before we close out today?
Guys, don't forget the free download today, bit.ly/DE budget. Get your budget done.
I did post that link for you, Lynn.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, I posted the link. Yeah, and guys, we're closing out early today because I have training for the next 3 days. So we'll be here. We're gonna be on time, 7:15, 7:45. And then after that, we're gonna be going in for real. Because me and Lynn, we don't do well with time constraints because we both love to share our information. Make sure you share the video. And remember, if your family and friend does not have Facebook, that's okay. We have a YouTube channel. There it is right there. I load our videos every day so that you can share the series with them as well. Your outsiders, yes, ma'am. Your outside life is a mirror. Yes, we only react. Girl, let me tell you, this book right here, The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself will change your life. And as her name, Tamp, that's exactly what he talks about, the mirror to your soul and what that looks like. But I'm not going to get started. I got to go. All right, guys, have a great and wonderful Monday. Make sure you check out Lynn's Budget Toolkit. Make sure you sign up for the Be Fearless Journey so that you can stay in touch with us. And then, as always, the jewelry, the bracelets, Be Fearless, as well as the T-shirts are online. And so you can check those out there as well. So, and then if you have any questions or suggestions for the Fearless Morning Show, you can reach out to Lynn or I, and we'll be glad to cover that. All right, Lynn, anything else? And I'm done.
That's it, guys. We're signing off.
Oh, Terrence, my bad. I don't know why. It comes up as Tamp. I was like, who is that? My bad, Terrence. Oops, it's okay. It's bright and early on a Monday morning. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, signing off.